Okay, this is a video solution to the Exam 3 review, problem 3. Okay, this is an analysis problem for a one's hot design. I should have said that in the problem statement, that this is one's hot. Okay, and so what we need to do to analyze this circuit is to complete a state diagram. Okay, so I do this by considering each D flip-flop that represents a state. So let's get started with, first of all, the S0 flip-flop. And what we do is we look at all the ways we can get to S0. Okay, so I can see from S2, I can get there on the conditions X bar, Y bar. Okay, so I'm going to go down to my state diagram. Let me put that down here. Okay, so here's a bubble for S0. Here's a bubble for S1. Here's a bubble for S2. I know there's 3 states because from the diagram. Oh, and there's S3. All right, so let me move that over. And we'll make a S3. Okay. All right, so back to where I was. I was looking at S0, and I see that I can get to S2, or sorry, from S2 I get to S0 on X bar Y. Okay, so I make X bar Y from S2 to S0. Okay, now I need to take care of the next condition. Okay, so I see from S3 on, this is an OR gate, so on X or Y, I go to S0. Okay, so from S3, X or Y, I go to S0. Okay, and continuing on, I look at S1. Okay, and on S1, from S1, X bar, Y bar, and that's an AND function here. So those two things together tell me from S1 it's X bar, Y bar. All right. So that's the first S0. Notice I'm assuming this is a well-designed one's hot statement or one's hot machine, and so for this circuit to work properly, I do need the condition for S0 to loop back to itself, but that's implicitly shown in a state diagram for a one's hot design. Okay, so that takes care of S0. All right, now let's go to S1. All right, and you see that S1 is pretty simple. Here's the output S1. There's only one way to get there, from S0 on X bar Y. Okay, so to get to S1, it's from S0 on X bar Y. Okay, so that completely takes care of the S1 state. Right, now we're at S2, and to do S2, I'm going to need S0, XY, from S0 on XY, I get to S2. Okay, I also need from S1 on XY bar. So from S1, XY bar. Okay, and then the last condition for S2 is from itself on Y bar, and I don't need to show that explicitly. Okay, because it's branching back to itself. Okay, finally, I look at S3. All right, so for S3, I look at the conditions. I get to S3 from S2 on XY. Okay, I also get there from S1 on Y. Okay, and then from S3, I get back to itself from X bar Y bar. And again, I don't need to show things that branch back to themselves. Okay, so this is now my state diagram. Okay, so that completes the first part of this problem. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that you understand this process of how the state diagram works. Okay, so starting in S0, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume what are the input conditions that's shown in time step 1. Okay, so in time step 1 I have a 1, 1. Okay, if I'm in S0 and I get x equal 1, y equal 1, where do I go next? Okay, so I look at this logic, and if I have x equal 1, y equal 1, that's this condition, and so I would move to S2. All right, so I would change that to S2. Okay, so now let's assume that I'm in, let's change the colors here so we can track it. Let's assume I'm in S2. Okay, if I have x equals 0 and y equals 0, where do I go next? Okay, so I look at the logic conditions moving out. I don't take this path because that would take a 0, 1. I don't take this path because that would take a 1, 1. And those are the only two paths that lead from S2. So on that input condition, this would just branch back to itself. Okay, so what I can do is put down S2 again. All right, so let me erase those colors so we can redo that for the next state. Okay, let's go green this time. If I'm in S2 and I get x equals 0 and y equal to 1, where do I go next? Okay, so you see x equals 0, y equal 1, that's this logic condition. And so I would take this back up to S0. So my next state would be S0. Okay. clean this up and see where to go next. If I'm in S0, let's go ahead and get rid of the purple. Okay, we'll just like that. If I'm in S0, okay, and I get x equals 0, y equal 1, okay, on a 0, 1, that would take me to this logic condition, which is state S1. So we put that. And from S1, on a 1, 1, that would take me, on 1, 1, if y is a 1, that would take me over to, if I change the marker to blue, from S1 on a 1, 1, that makes y equal 1, so I take this path over to S3. So I mark that down as S3. Okay, so that's how you complete that chart and finish this problem.